All right, so price gouging laws are another real-world example of price ceilings. These are, again, temporary price ceilings imposed during times of emergency. So you could imagine that, perhaps there's a hurricane and, there's power outages, so people need generators. There's an increase in demand for generators. How would an uncontrolled market deal with an increase in demand for generators? Hopefully, you should be able to answer that, right? That's basically going back to chapter 3. So maybe take a second, pause the video, draw yourself a chart, a graph, and figure out what would happen in an uncontrolled market if demand for generators increased. Or, if you want to, change it to toilet paper or hand sanitizer. All right, so let's look at it in a graph, right? So here we've got equilibrium, the market equilibrium for generators before a disaster. Generators are $530 a piece. But then there's some disaster, and it causes the demand for generators to increase. And so if the market was not subject to any price controls, generators should increase in price to $900. But then the government comes in and says, oh, well, we don't think that it's right for companies to charge almost twice the price, especially given the fact that we're in an emergency situation. So we're going to put in a price ceiling, a price gouging law that limits the price of these generators, keeps them to a maximum. So, of course, this new equilibrium is not possible legally. And so we end up with a shortage of generators. So, again, the law is intended to help these people that need generators, but it ends up hurting them. There's a shortage. And so to illustrate this exact real-world example, I'll go ahead and find this video and post it on iCollege for you to watch. It's from the mid-2000s. It's a little dated, but it's one of my favorite illustrations of how these price ceilings actually end up being worse than if the government just left the market alone. You can also look up this Simpsons episode, Much Ado About Nothing. Watch that and see how it relates to price gouging.